Welcome everybody. Today I was speaking about religion and society in Lagos in our HSS 121 tutorial section. So we'll be looking at the impact of religion in Lagos, and in this context we'll be focusing on the three dominant religions in Lagos, notably the traditional African religion. We look at Christianity and Islam and their contribution to the development of Lagos. Religion is an important aspect of the daily life of Lagosians, as majority now practice at least one or two religion of religious faith. Religion has a deep influence on matters that relate to law, to dressing, to funeral, marriages, inheritance, festivals, pilgrimages, education, even interpersonal and intergroup relations. So religion is a critical factor, has been an important factor in the development of Lagos. Religion can be simply defined as an organized collection of beliefs, moral ethics, and cultural systems that aim to explain the meaning and origin of life or the universe to the people. It is also the belief in God or supreme being who is thought of as a creator of all things. So the belief that God created all things is manifested in the doctrines, the incantation, the rituals and prayers by converts of various religions. So in Lagos, several religions were practiced by Lagosians before the 21st century, before 1900, which is the termination of our period in this course. These are traditional African religion, Islam, and Christianity. Other religions such as Ekankar, Guru Maharaji, worship, Buddhism also existed among the people of Lagos. The first and earliest type of religion practiced by the indigenes of Lagos was the traditional African religion. This was followed by Islam and later Christianity, which are both external religions. However, while their modes of worship are similar, in some respects, their doctrines are quite very different. So in this class, we'll start by looking at the traditional African religions among the people of Lagos. Traditional African religion is part of the culture of the people of Lagos, which they develop and practice from ancient times, as I've mentioned. Generally, the worshippers believe in a supreme being called Olodumare or Oluwa. Alright? Among the Ogu people of Badagry, God is referred to as Jiweye. Alright? Olodumare or God is worshipped through the medium of lesser gods. That is Orisha, such as Obatala, Orunmila, Ogun, or Sango. There are also those who worship the deities. Those who worship these deities are called after the names of the deities they worship. For instance, the worshippers of Sango are referred as Orisha, Orisango, or Aborisha. For those who worship Orisha, that is, so just like Muslim and Christians who worship in mosques and in churches, also followers of traditional African religion worship in shrines. They have their places of worship. The shrines, which are usually of different sizes, could be built inside the house or around the compound, by the riverside, in the forest, even in the center of a market, and so on. Shrines are not a common sight in the city of Lagos, but can be visible or found within the houses of the worshippers, the palace of traditional rulers, and traditional priests who also play the role of traditional healers, known as Babalawo. We also noted that shrines are, however, more visible in the suburb of Lagos, particularly in some communities such as Ikorodu, in Epe, and even Badagry. You might not find shrines visible in Ikeja, the heart of Ikeja, or even Lagos mainland. So among the Badagry, Diogu Toplisen, located in Unto in Badagry, is a popular shrine where the monarch of Badagry are crowned. Another shrine notable among the Badagry people is Vlekete. Vlekete is popular particularly because it was at this shrine that Richard Lander, one of the early European explorers, was given a potion to drink in order to prove that he was not a spy. So shrines contain several images that represent the various deities or gods, among the people of Lagos. We've mentioned that no other items found in shrine, which are used, for various spiritual activities, are dried and fresh leaves, native chalks, herbs that includes dried plants or animal parts, as well as calabashes, small wooden mortars, and pestles for grinding. The shrines are generally also regarded as sacred places to the worshippers of traditional religion in Lagos, and those who worship, are not believers, or those who are not believers of these gods, or deities, are not allowed to enter into, the shrines except on invitation, by the worshipper. The process of worship of gods among, the indigenous people in Lagos, all right, entails also ceremonial reenactments such as dancing and chanting of incantation and sacrifice, of animals such as goats, birds, chickens, and rams. We also noted that other items used in the process of worship are kola nut, yam, palm oil, and local gin, also known as ogogoro in Yoruba language. Again, traditional worshippers do not have books, like the Quran or the Bibles, but most of the incantations and prayers used during worships are memorized and recited by the practitioners who learned it usually from their, forefathers, and pass it on to their children. This is particularly the reason traditional religion is oral and does not, use, books, literature, like Christianity and Islam, which particularly, uses the Bible and the Quran respectively. Again, just like Christianity and Islam, traditional religion also provides avenues for learning. In Badagry, for example, there are training schools for children and youth, in the tenets of traditional religion, where, people learn the creeds, and also the tenets of this religion. So one important aspect of traditional African religion is, the importance of festival. Many festivals and ceremonies, are associated with traditional religion in Lagos, and notable ones are, Eyo festival. In Lagos, we have the Adamu Orisha festival, we have Igunu festival, the Zanbeto festival, and the Oro festival. We noted that the Eyo festival particularly is an important ceremony in Lagos, which often, take place on Lagos Island. It is customary during this ceremony for the procession to start from Idumota, to Iga Idunganran, that is the palace of the Oba of Lagos. The first group of Eyo to usher in the festival consists of Adimu, who often wear a black rim hat, which we have noted, followed by other Eyo groups who parade daily, according to their hierarchy. For instance, we have the Laba, putting on the red hat, the Oniko putting on the yellow hat, the Ologede, putting on the green hat, and Agere, wearing the purple hat. So they all carry, the Eyo festivals all carried a staff called Okpa Banta, which is used to beat and chase away people, especially those wearing shoes, and they also parade through the streets, dancing and chanting incantations and responding to the felicitation from the people. So this festival holds anytime tradition demands in Lagos, and it has strong spiritual, social, and cultural significance among the people of Lagos. It is often used also to mark the final burial rite of a prominent or an influential chief or personality in Lagos. All right. So another festival which is celebrated in Lagos and with much social cultural significance is the Igunuko festival. This festival was brought to Lagos by the Tapa, the Nupe people of Niger State. It first started, the festival first started at Odoba in Ijuoto, and was later taken to Igbo Igunu in Epetedo. So it was from this point that Igunuko cult spread to other parts of Lagos. This Igunuko festival is celebrated particularly to ward off disease, in the community, and it often lasts for 14 days and takes place in October, between October and November of every year. Then also we have the Zanbeto, which is a cult mainly associated with the inhabitants of Badagry, who are known as the Egun. Okay, so the cult also celebrates festivals during which the Zambeto masquerade can be viewed, by the public, with all kinds of spectacle, and celebration, and razzmatazz. So the function of Zambeto are quite diverse, but generally it is regarded as the watcher of the night by the Egun people. The worshippers, are masked during the day and without the mask at night. The Zanbeto keeps watch over the people to protect them from their enemies. And apart from protection, we noted that Zanbeto also maintains peace and order among the Egun people. So it is also the custom, of the people to take the ghetto, which is a symbol of Zanbeto, to the home of those who refuse to settle their quarrel. That means that the Zanbeto, among other things, also play a significant role in settling dispute among people. So as a matter of fact, it was forbidden for the people of Badagry, to keep grudges. No one was allowed to enter their homes once the ghetto has been taken to their homes. No, but such person, in most cases, must report to the king's palace, where the conflict is settled. All right, so the festival plays a very, very pivotal role among the people of Badagry. Of course, as we have noted in our class, this festival have now become part of the identity of Lagos, even though this actually is practiced among the Ogu people, who are noted to have actually come from, relocated from modern day Benin Republic, but they are being integrated into the political, social, and economic system Lagos. So the festival also involves sacrifices and rituals which are carried out before, during, and after the celebration. Another notable feature of traditional festivals in Lagos is that followers of a particular cult wear the same dress which we have noted, or outfit collectively, in a way to demonstrate the features, the characteristics, and also the beauty of the religion they practice, as we also see in other modern religion like Christianity and Islam. This practice can also be traced to the Yoruba age grade system, in which case members of a particular age grade dress alike on special occasions or ceremonies. But generally speaking, the festival among these people provided entertainers, entertainment to Lagosians, in which case they also attract tourists and encourage friendship among, in the contemporary Lagos. Festivals have also contributed enormously to capital formation in Lagos. It plays a constitutive element, it is a significant element in capital formation and economic development in Lagos, because in most of these cultural sites, people will have to pay toll levies, they pay money to observe most of these ceremonies and reenactment, and this contributes to the government economy. It also contributes to the economy of the informal sector where these festivals are carried out. In a way, traditional religious worshippers also play an important role in markets in Lagos, as we have seen. Beyond festivals and reenactment, they also offer prayers and perform rituals to ensure the smooth running of markets in Lagos. A typical illustration is at Balata Market Balata Market, in Badagry. We have the where, in cases where many market leaders perform rituals to appease the gods, so as to increase patronage and and peaceful relations. Many other markets in Badagry, also like Verekete and Ikoga, also do the same. They observe prayers in markets in Jankara market, for instance, in those 80s when we were young, there were days whereby the market would not be open until the people, traditionalists, have actually come to offer sacrifices and prayers in the market for the smooth running, and prosperity of the market. So in other areas in Lagos like Mushin, Agege, Ikeja, Oshodi, similar rituals are also performed for the prosperity of this market. So traditional worshippers they also have associations in Lagos, such as the Egbe Elegun. All right, we have the Ogun worshippers, Egbe Aborisha, and so on. And generally, these associations are established for the mutual benefit and togetherness, the comradeship, of the people in Lagos, and they have contributed enormously in shaping, the history of Lagos. So let's talk about Islam in Lagos. All right, we've noted in our class also that Islam was already in Lagos before the arrival of Christian missionaries. The advent of Islam in Lagos was made possible by traders and by itinerant Muslim teachers, Malams, who moved from one place to the other. In the process of conducting their economic activities, they also perform religious functions. So majority of the Muslims in Lagos also belong to returnee slaves, as we have noted. Those who traveled back to Lagos from either Sierra Leone, who are known as the Saro people in Lagos. Of course, fundamentally, it was after the jihad of Usman Dan Fodio in 1804 that Islam spread rapidly, first to Yoruba hinterland and to Lagos. Of course, it became rooted in Lagos through the influence of several migrants who relocated to Lagos seeking refuge from the Yoruba war of the 19th century. So apart from the jihad, many people who were also traditional worshippers also converted to Islam peacefully through cultural diffusion such as marriages, trade relations with Muslims, or through or other forms of interactions in Lagos. There are also a large number of Muslim migrants from northern Nigeria and from other parts of West Africa, especially from Mali, from Ghana, from Guinea, that settled in Lagos between the 19th century and 20th century. So it is the duty of all of these Malams, Muslims who had come to Lagos for one reason or the other to teach the children or youth around their community how to read and memorize and recite the Quran. Right, so usually, this is usually done over a period of years before proceeding to teach them, the kids, the commentaries on the Quran as well as the Sunnah and Hadith. And there were quite a number of, schools, Islamic institutions in Lagos in the colonial period, and this helped to shape, the spread of, the religion, the 19th and the 20th century. Of course, usually we noted that schools were attached to mosque, and children attended these schools, periodically and daily, in a way, to be taught, just as other kids in the Christian religion receive Western education, through the instrumentality of the churches established in their communities. So the schools, Islamic schools in all of these communities are known as Ilekeu, and these are a common sight, in areas where a large number of Muslims live in Lagos. We've also noted generally that the British colonial administration, favored was quite much disposed or favorable, with Christianity, gave more support and momentum, to the spread of Christian religion and Western schools than Islamic schools and Islamic religion fundamentally. And the earliest of them, some of these schools that were established by the missionaries, they taught Christian religion, writing, reading and arithmetic. As a result of the fact that many Muslim parents were also reluctant to send their children to the mission schools for either the fear, of converting their kids to Christianity, or for indoctrination of the kids. It was difficult for many for the Islamic school to actually grow in the same proportion or degree and intensity as that of the Western schools. But under the governorship of S.G. Carter, we noted that even under the leadership of S.A. Moloney, the colonial government gave much support to Muslim institutions in a way that actually led to the spread and the development of Muslim schools in Lagos. First of these Islamic schools that actually became prominent in Lagos was an existing Quranic school at Akone Street in Lagos, which was later developed or converted to a government Muslim school in 1898 in Lagos. This was as a result of the yearnings of the Muslim communities in Lagos, and this helped to shape Islamic schools, the development of Islamic schools. The other government Muslim schools were established in Ekpe, for instance, in 1898 and Badagry in 1899. So these Muslim children were taught Islamic religion as well as Western education from this period onward. And this helped to maintain the number of Muslims since their parents were quite skeptical about the intellectual development of their kids. All right, they were afraid also that they would not be converted into Christianity. So, with the improvement in the content of education given in these Islamic schools, such that they started teaching English language apart from just teaching kids how to recite Quran. This actually was a significant momentum. Of course, the mosque in Lagos are a notable part of the landscape in Lagos. Some of the prominent mosques in Lagos, as we have mentioned, with regards to Islamic religion, was the Lagos Central Mosque, which was built around 1890s, and the Shita Bay Mosque in 1894 specifically. And of course, with the growth of mosque in Lagos, across Lagos, several Islamic or Muslim associations also became widespread in Lagos from the beginning of the 20th century. Of course, some of these religious associations, Islamic associations, include the Ansarudeen, the Ahmadiyya, and several other Islamic associations, which continues to shape the growth of the religion in Lagos. So we now turn to the Christianity in Lagos State. So in this session, we look at the growth of Christianity. I've noted in the class also that Christianity was introduced to Nigeria by European missionaries as early as the 16th century. But at this time, it was not well propagated. All right, of course, it was received with sarcasm, pessimism, and skepticism by the people of Lagos. Of course, this was quite just understandable because this was the peak or the beginning of the nefarious and obnoxious transatlantic slave trade. All right, which actually dehumanize African humanity, not only in Lagos but in Africa. So at the beginning of the introduction of Christianity in the 16th century, it was not well received because the people preferred to practice their traditional religion, especially against the backdrop of the molestation, the abuse, the torture, and the horror, the degradation of African humanity by the Europeans who were acquiring people, and making them slaves in Europe and America. However, from the 19th century, renewed efforts were made by the European missionaries to introduce Christianity and Western civilization. Of course, there were quite a number of reasons alluded by the European missionaries for the introduction of Western education. Of course, one of them was to upgrade these primitive, barbarous African people from superstitious and diabolic beliefs and practices. So the first location in Lagos where early Christian missionaries landed, as we have noted in our class, was Badagry, where you have intense activities of the Wesleyan Methodist Church and Christian Missionary Society, who arrived in 1842. As a result of this momentum, the first Christian church service took place in 1842 Of course, because of this, it is believed that the first Christmas, in Nigeria was celebrated in Badagry, of that 1842. So apart from Badagry, also simultaneously Christian missionary activities also was extended, to the hinterland of the Lagos Island in that 1842. Also, when the a Christian service also held in December, in the palace of, the Oba of Lagos at a period in time. Some of the missions which eventually contributed to the spread of Western education and, Christian religion, religious practice in Lagos, where the Church Missionary Society, the CMS, the Wesleyan Methodist Society, Missionary Society. Then you have the Presbyterian Society. You have the Presbyterian United Presbyterian Church of England, the Baptist Convention of the United States, then Society of African Missions (SMA), which was based in Lyons in France. All of these are the early missionary groups that actually, conducted their Christianization enterprises in Lagos. The CMS was particularly a society of the Church of England, and because Britain was the country that colonized Lagos, we noted explicitly that, no, uh, the British government gave more support and much, invested much in the CMS enterprise. Of course, and other parts of Nigeria also, the activities of the CMS received the British government financial and moral support, during the 19th and the 20th century. The first Christian sermon in Lagos we've mentioned, in main Lagos, was organized by the CMS, which was delivered in January 1852 in the presence of Oba Kitoye, the, traditional authority, the Oba of Lagos. There were, apart from these missionary groups I've mentioned, there was also the role played by the Roman Catholic missionaries later, who established their presence, in various, areas in Lagos and also the hinterland of what became known as Nigeria in the 20th century. The Catholic invested enormously in Western education, Catholic institutions, and also, all forms of social welfare and schemes in colonial Lagos and, colonial Nigeria. Of course, they came through the Society of African Missions, which was founded by, Father Bresilac in 1856, but also operated in Lagos, beginning from the annexation, and colonization of Lagos in 1861. So subsequently, the structure and the functions of these Christian, missionary institutions, especially Catholic missions, grew, phenomenally when the Holy Cathedral, was, built in 1878 and also was completed, was restructured in 1881. Okay, apart from the building of churches, we noted that Christian missions also paid much attention to the development of education, as we've examined in our previous topic. They also contributed significantly to health of the people through the establishment of Western schools and hospitals. Lagos particularly benefited, you know, uh, from early missionary activities in terms of investment in education. Among all the areas where palpable impact of the missionaries were felt in terms of the establishment of school was in Lagos. As we have noted in 1859, by 1859, the CMS Grammar School, Bariga, had been established, and in 1879, the Methodist Boys High School was also, established by the Wesleyan Mission. The Catholic missions also came to establish, the St. Gregory College in Obalende in 1881. And these are some of the major, there were quite a number of schools that were also established in the 20th century in Lagos. We have the Queen's College, the Our Ladies of Apostles, and, quite a number of these missionary institutions, gave momentum to social, development in Lagos. Apart from schools, many of these missionaries, as we have noted, established hospitals in Lagos and other parts of Lagos. All right, so in a way, Christian missions contributed to the, development of vocational, training as well. Of course, this reflected in several in the development of artisanal expertise in colonial Lagos. People were trained in the field of bricklaying, in the area of tailoring, and other the printing press, and quite a number of shoemaking and others. So exposure to this vocational training actually engendered or produced skilled and semi-skilled and unskilled worker who participated in the uh, who contributed to the development of capital formation in colonial Lagos. They aided also the business of colonial capitalism in Lagos through their various contributions. Right. Of course, we've noted in our class demonstrably that one of the major impacts of some of this socially of the missionaries was also in the area of development of printing press. Right, the media sector actually evolved as a result of the activities of these European missionaries in Lagos. Fundamentally, we noted that one of the significant outcome of all of this Christianization was the establishment, for instance, in Lagos, the first newspaper printing press, organization or institution, which published the Ìwé Ìròyìn in 1859. The Ìwé Ìròyìn, which was a printing press institution, was one of the most remarkable achievements in British West Africa at the moment of its kind, where the indigenous people could hear their opinions and also express their yearnings about the dynamics or the realities in the colonial society. People could express themselves, in the matter as we have shared in the text I shared, letter writing. Of course, it also led to the development of a new industry, the public letter writing, sector, which evolved as a result of the, development that occurred in the 19th century and the 20th century. So the Ìwé Ìròyìn, which mentioned, was a fortnightly publication. Of course, subsequently, other newspaper publication also followed this trajectory in Lagos and other places in Western Nigeria as a whole. So many of those who pioneered the political development and the decolonial process, all right, the nationalist movement, were product of these institutions attended, and all of this contributed immensely in the development of the the printing press industry. Of course, that was the only avenue through which they could air their opinion. Okay, we also noted that in all of the churches established by the Europeans during this period, of course, the Europeans dominated the leadership of all of these churches, and this actually, was a result of the denigration of African religions, African culture, and African practices. For instance, the African priests were considered quite, apart from being considered being inferior to their European counterparts. All right, most of them were castigated on the basis of their refusal to relinquish most of the traditional practices, such as polygamy, and also, of course, their attachment to some traditional practices like performing sacrifices, all right, and also using some traditional memorabilia, all right, symbols and all of that. Most of course, some of these people, especially in some of the Orthodox churches, were also too religiously attached or culturally attached to the traditional deity they had been accustomed to, such that many of them, for instance, were both priests and also members of the Ogboni confraternity. And there was the effort made by the colonial missionary organizations to purge all of these people from this attachment to traditional beliefs. And this actually led to the expulsion of some of them, and there were also in many cases where many of them actually ceded or broke away from these European churches to establish their own traditional institutions, religious institutions. As we've noted, it was in the process of all of this resistance against European treatment that some of them, in 1888 broke out to establish their church. In 1888, the Native Baptist Church was founded by members who seeded from the Southern American Baptist Convention. Of course, you have those who also broke out from the United African Church. No, no, as they ultimately founded no their own various institutions, Methodist, Anglican, and all of that, and this contributed to the growth of Christian religion in colonial Lagos. Of course, there were also those who also broke out of various European and even African churches to establish their own model of Christian churches, such as the Cherubim and Seraphim, which was founded by Moses Orimolade, for instance, and Celestial, by Samuel Oshofa, and quite a number of others like the ones, of course, not in Lagos directly, the CAC, the Christ Apostolic Church, in the 1930s under the leadership of Apostle Joseph Ayo Babalola, and these were just few of the churches that actually developed. Of course, from the 1950s, quite a number of churches also developed along the Pentecostal line. The Pentecostal revival that actually greeted Nigeria, especially from 50s and 1960, paved way for the expansion of Christianity. And in a way, we've argued that this Christian religion have contributed, like other religion, traditional and Islam, to the making of modern Lagos in terms of either culturally and economically, and even in politically, in terms of political mobilization. You've seen how churches have become a rallying point, in sense of political mobilization and galvanization. Thank you for this session. Thank you very much.